Hey there, have you got your Tim Teeny? Yeah! Good. Now get ready for Talks with Tim. Tim Talks.
Okay, now we know this noise. It's familiar noise. Everyone, take the time. Get your Tim Teeny. I've got mine. I really deserve it tonight because it is hot outside. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. It was hot this weekend.
Did you get out?
I got out. Dan, did you get out?
I did. Yeah, I went to the park with my wife and kid. We had a great time. Little picnic.
Yeah.
How about you?
Outside was my key. And I was blessed to have 2 days off. That was a gift. So I had Sunday and Monday off. We went up, and we always do a Sunday ride like I've shared before. And we went up to Saugatuck, did some people watching, shopping, drinking, shopping, people watching. It was gorgeous out. Yeah. So, you know, I always say I'm a fair-skinned redhead, but think I'm an Italian. So I'm a little burnt.
Yeah.
Versus brown.
Yeah. Well, you're looking good. Yeah.
Get some color.
Yeah, we're all getting a little bit of color.
Yeah. Found some good pieces of art. But that's how we actually kick off our summer, is our road trip to Saugatuck. We have to go at least once a year.
Nice.
That's our go-to.
Nice.
It's nice up there.
You got it started out right then.
Yeah.
So what are we drinking this week?
We are drinking. Should I make this one? Well, it was actually going to be different, but I was rushed. But this is still a citrus, but it's still good. It's our go-to.
Delicious. It's delicious.
It's refreshing. But yeah, citrus and vodka.
Awesome. Very cool.
With some love.
With them, and it just hits the spot in this hot weather. So we have a very special guest this week.
We have a really good special guest this week. Not only is he special, I call him my friend. So today we have the very famous, infamous, all the above, Travis Worden. Hi, Travis.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me.
So anyone that knows that name, that's a household name in Harbor Country, Travis. He is the manager of a successful restaurant in Harbor Country called Roadhouse. And everyone, this is Travis. Travis, give us a little intro. Tell us a little bit about you. Something that people may not know as being a authentic, amazing, consistent server and manager at your restaurant.
Something about me. Well, I'm a creative, so I went to school for graphic design, and so I do graphic design freelance projects more on the side. And then I work at the Roadhouse. And I just realized, I love living in this area, and I always thought I was going to move away to the bigger city and, work for an agency or something. But I just love this area. I love the small community. I love all my friends and family are here. And, I do all the social media and ads and everything for the restaurant as well. So I'm still utilizing it. I just couldn't sit at a desk 9 hours a day behind a computer. I love people too much. So
let's hone in on that, because I think not just personally, but individually, that's a conversation with today's young people. Do you think going to college is an old school method? Like, let's talk about you. So you went to college and now you have college debt.
Yes.
You have a degree that you're no longer using.
That's a big club.
Full time.
Big club.
So what does that mean? Like, what does that really mean? Because you're not the only one that went through that process and made that decision.
I mean, college isn't for everybody. I truly believe that. And I think there are some professions that you do need to go through school and like take boards tests or, to be certified to go into certain fields. But, I don't know. I don't really feel it's as necessary as it used to be. Honestly, with the internet and social media, there's so many different other like creative fields that people can get into and like start up, like a podcast, for instance. I mean, if this took off, like it probably will, you're gonna have a huge following, right?
Right.
I mean, yeah. So, it's definitely something that is not for everybody.
Well, don't you think? What's the concept? So, in my, I'm a little bit older than you, but my thesis was go to high school, go to college.
Yeah, that's how I was raised too.
Okay.
Yeah, with my family.
And do you think that 18, 17, is it really fair to say?
I don't think these kids know who they are, let alone what they want to do for the rest of their lives at that age.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
the person that I am today at 31 versus when I was 18, night and day.
So would you be an advocate of saying to today's youth, take at least a year off?
No pressure.
Is this going to go like some slogan on the side of a milk jug or something?
No, but I mean, and your reality is not just that's.
Well, let's put it. Can I ask you this way? Like,
yeah.
I like to think of it like this. Like, if you were 18 and you were deciding if to go to college or start a business, these days it's probably about the same amount of money.
Absolutely.
You know, and so which one is a better investment when you're looking at going to college and having a good time and coming out of it and going?
It's probably lower interest on the loans.
Well, experience versus books. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but
that's true.
Seriously, experience versus. Yeah, it's all about the experience. There's so many things that should be taught in high school or that aren't. Just like class, like life skills, like how to pay bills or how to just certain little things here and there that nobody really talks about, or you just have to like try to figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
And don't you think that technology now more than ever is the motivator and the reality? It's the elephant in the room. That these kids actually know more than, I mean, definitely more than me, but don't you think they all say, this is actually what I need? I don't need to go to 4 years of college. Here's my foundation.
Yeah. Yes. I have mixed feelings on social media. I'm very thankful that I grew up in high school where it wasn't like full force yet. You know, Facebook was just kind of starting out and anybody could kind of join, and you know, it wasn't really what it is today with Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, and you know, all these. I mean, it's completely changed the way that we run businesses, the way we see things, perception of reality. It's all altered, and but it also can do a lot of good. So, and I think our youth, growing up today, I mean, they kind of hide behind that a lot, and they lose a lot of those interpersonal like communications that, you know, somebody my age or older was forced to go through. And yeah, well, I was like on the tail end before, you know, things really started to change. So I'm thankful that was the case. Like growing up playing outside in the woods and building forts instead of sitting on the couch on an iPad. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
or
we were always outside.
Riding bikes around the neighborhood, riding around, you know, to the beach on our bikes, getting ice cream. Like that's stuff that like, I'll remember forever. And I don't know if kids get a lot of that. I hope they do. I just don't, you know,
it's
I don't
so
see
different.
it as much.
It's so different now.
Yeah.
I mean, choosing music when we were in high school was like, you would actually go to a place physically and look at things. You would listen to what your friends listen to. And now you're getting so much of that from your online, from your social media, and people are, you know, kind of getting herded in different directions. And whereas I think it used to have more, you know, freedom of degrees of freedom about it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think there's a sense of uncomfortability in conversation too. I think parents are like, I got to let them be versus go outside. And if they say no, go outside.
Right.
You know, because to your point, I don't think there's a lot of creating memories. And, but something I just thought about without thinking about is you and I are on the same page with that. I actually went to college and I knew it wasn't me. I always wanted to be a hairdresser. So my craft outweighed my certificate of it. You know, I went 3 years but I think, and to your point, you're using a little bit of yours. I'm going to use a lot. Mine was in hospitality management. So what I do is service, you know, hair clients versus restaurant clients or hotel clients. But I would have been very okay going right into hair because that's what I wanted to do.
Was that a regret?
Not a regret, but it was definitely at 18. I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. Like I was doing what I was supposed to do versus what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I think,
and I'm worried that there's a lot of kids doing that right now.
Right.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
So what do you do? Here's what I want to say too, and it kind of carries forward. And now with the job force, like, what do you say? You're a manager. I'm a owner and in a service.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say and to these kids that even now to what we just talked about, and then they get out of college and they're okay not getting a job. They're okay with being okay. They're okay with just leave me alone, and you know what I'm saying. And then I want you to follow that with, because this is everyone asks me every day, all my clients, how do they survive?
Yeah,
like where does the money come from? What's your thoughts?
I have no idea, because it's hard to find help sometimes. Like.
But do you ever have a
especially in the
conversation with
restaurant
yourself,
service
like
industry.
why that is? Is it because they were hand fed? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? Because everyone talks about that.
I know it's just a mystery. I mean, it comes up a lot when we talk, and I don't think anybody has the
I don't
answer.
know if there is an answer.
I think that a lot of people share your concern that it's hard to get people when you're trying to hire.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think it might be a sense of failure? Maybe. I mean, what does that look like? Because I've been told, and I've
scared of failure.
Yeah. Because I know that
not putting themselves out there.
Right.
I mean, in order to succeed, you got to fail a bunch, right?
Right.
And maybe their thought process is, if I don't do something, then I'm not going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that mindset of,
or if I don't try, then there's nothing scary about failing and it not working out.
Yeah, I could identify with some of that. I remember feeling that way at times.
Because I went to a seminar just recently, and I believe that I can't even share anything that's not like positive fluff. They immediately think I've wronged them, or they're wronged if I say, hey, can you clean up this, or can you do this, or have any kind of uncomfortable conversation. You know what I'm saying? They're not comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. Mm-hmm. And then I get lost with my message. And you know
where that stems from?
What?
Hiding behind the screens.
Yeah.
Not having enough literal FaceTime.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Wow.
Literal FaceTime. Not having those, instead of when you're mad at your friend, you text them, oh, I'm sorry, or you did something wrong. And instead of face to face owning up to what you did, or,
right.
How you're feeling. And
yeah, it's like a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Always between you and other people. I never thought about that.
I never thought about that either.
That's pretty good insight. Yeah.
So I'm the screen that's actually talking back to them.
Yeah. Is this podcast helping?
Yeah. Yeah. That's clever. That's good. And I'm sure it's foreign. I mean, their babysitter is a computer or some kind of device. My babysitter was Jane Doe next door.
Right.
That made $2 an hour.
Yeah. We had a set of twins, when we were little, a set of high school twins lived around the corner, and they took turns babysitting us when our parents went to go out.
So do you think this all stems from, and throw this out with me, and do you think we should start having period conversations? To your point, I like what you just said. There is no conversation. Their conversation, if whatever that means in their minds, is a screen. So do we start with parenting and teachers saying, hey, Travis, what interests you? Hey, Travis, what do you want to do? What's your thoughts on you? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like we're so uncomfortable with any kind of question. It's just kind of like we're going to pass them through school, and the parents are like, oh, they're fine. You know what I'm saying?
So you mean like try to engage?
Yeah, ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's, for one thing, it's modeling that kind of social behavior that we all grew up with, right?
Right.
You're actually trying to talk to somebody.
Right.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think, Travis?
I don't know if there's changing it. I think it's too late.
Yeah. Just the new way of the world.
I think it's just the new way of living. I mean, just like, things growing up in the 90s were different, obviously, than they are today, but also way different than they were in the 50s.
Right.
It's just progress and change and or regress.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll probably change by the time, it'll change on its own because everything always changes.
Right.
Well, and we're going to tie into this more, but people, like you volunteer, we volunteer. Mm-hmm. That's something we just talked about on the way over here too. Mm-hmm. That's another conversation. Volunteers are to a wayside now. If and the message to that is, if I'm not affected, or if it doesn't affect me, then
what's in it for me?
What's in it for me? So that's another thing that's going to,
Yeah.
And those are for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of good reasons to volunteer. I mean, just
Yeah.
because it's fun and it's a way of meeting people and getting together with people that you like and that kind of thing.
But with that being said, why I'm tying into this, and we're going to go further into it, is Travis and I volunteer, and the pageants that we are both related to is we have one-on-ones or interviews,
Uh-huh.
and it's amazing. I've shared this before, but it's amazing how, to his point, you can tell that they're all screen relatable than one-on-one relatable. Yeah. Because the first practice and the last practice, it's eye-opening.
Mm-hmm.
But they will share to you, oh my God, no one's asked me that. No one's told me that. No one's shared that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That means you're getting through. I mean, so you're seeing a result.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that needs to be started earlier.
Yeah. And I think parents should be okay. And I hear that quite often. Oh, I could never ask them that. I don't want them to feel.
Why?
Whatever. I know.
Yeah, that's
so I don't know.
Part of it.
I think we're so fragile. And fragile is, you know what I'm saying? That's why we don't flaw anymore. That's why we don't fail anymore. That's why we don't launch anymore. I think we're so fragile. And I think it starts to small things like you and I do with the Blossom Time program. It takes one person to introduce something different, to get something different.
I think that's the social media too, because it's like social media, I'm not actually that much of a participant, and I certainly wasn't when I was in high school. It didn't exist, but it seems like it intensifies what we all experienced in high school, which is the clickiness and that sense of like, oh my God, I don't want to wear the wrong thing, or I don't want to say the wrong thing, or I don't want to be called out for being the outsider or being the clueless one or whatever. And with social media, it just seems like, wow, it really boiled that down to an algorithm or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, because it's displayed rather than just walking by in the hallway
and recorded.
Right.
So now, if you make a fool of yourself in front of 3 people, it's never in front of 3 people. I made a fool of myself when I was a kid like that all the time, but it wasn't recorded and it didn't get shared. Right. So that's that makes that would make me scared.
So speaking of volunteering, Travis just got the rewarded award in Volunteer of the Year.
Hey,
yeah!
Congratulations!
Yeah, that's a big honor.
Tell us about that. What was that
for? It's for like Tim mentioned, we work with and volunteer for the Blossom Time Festival in Southwest Michigan. So I've been a committee member for 8 years.
Cool.
And I went through the program when I was in high school. I was a representative for the community of Bridgman, the King, and went out for the Mr. Blossom Time pageant. And it was a great experience, and honestly helped, shape me and give me skills and growth for who I have turned out to be today. So
very cool.
I always enjoyed that, and the festival means a lot to me. So jumped back on board with some other close friends that I had met in high school, and here we are today.
And so what's your work on the committee?
So it depends on the year, but we help mentor these kids and teach them, get them ready for the Blossom Time pageant. We work the community pageants, doing like the teller and scoring and stuff, and then we work backstage for the pageant, and then there's a bunch of events that I usually like to try to attend, be as involved as possible.
There's a number of events?
Oh yeah, there's, I don't even know how many.
So I wonder,
15 events or so.
Wow.
From for the whole season.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. The growth, like Tim was saying, the growth from like when we meet them on day 1 to like 2 weeks ago after we had like we finished the tour week and the coronation ball. It's just it's tremendous, really, and to be a part of that, to help them, and where I was, those years ago, and to be on the other side helping, it means a lot to me, and I love helping them.
And keep that. That's what we're missing right there.
Yeah, the heart.
So what was your drive? Because you have such a drive. I'm always telling you that. I love that you spearhead everything. You're never a follower. You're a leader. You're comfortable in your own skin. You're still very young. You're only 30. And so what was the device? What was your mantra? What's something that set you and said, you know what, I'm not going to talk about my woes? Because you grew up pretty much, I know you said you're on the borderline, but you grew up with technology and that's really strong today.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with my personality, really, just being like very outgoing and driven and, sociable. And like I had mentioned earlier when we first started, I always thought I wanted to, move to a city and, live this like city life with an agency job. But, as I thought about it and I, kept working at the restaurant, and I realized I love living in this area and I can make a bigger difference and a bigger impact here than I could ever in a big city. So I don't know. It's just,
well, your foundation is hard. I mean, you talk very highly of the owners. They're like family to you.
Oh
you
gosh, yeah. They're like parents.
I mean, you're a forefront with leader. And
I've worked there for 17 years in October.
Wow.
Now, there you go.
17.
Now, is that loyalty or what? And,
well,
I mean,
I started there as a busser.
7 months anymore.
When I was like 14, 15. I had to get a work permit from the high school in order to allow me to work, as long as my grades were good.
Wow.
So maybe it's just self, indulgence or something. I did the same thing.
It definitely stems back to my parents. I mean, my mom has a very similar personality to myself. My dad is very like driven, very kind of rigid, and like, this is the way you do it. Like, so that was like instilled in me. And, when you start something, you don't give up, you finish it through. And if, you didn't like it, then, for next time, and you don't have to do anymore, but you finished what you set out to do. And so
life skills.
And, it really stems down to great parenting and great, life lessons. And if you can help it, surround yourself with people who are going to help and push you and lift you up, rather than, oh, okay, do what you want,
But
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, do what you want, but also,
we're not saying that.
Own it.
We're not saying to what you just said. If you try something, you're going to finish it that year. You may not do it next year, but at least you're going to finish it. At least you know the no.
Mm-hmm.
Life skills again. I mean, and I think that's what we have to get back with teaching and parenting.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mm-hmm. So, one big thing that we need to talk about. It's happening now. It's your second annual Harbor Country Pride Fest. Am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Again, launching and not a follower, a leader. You jumped right into co-founder of that. Not only did you participate and volunteer, you actually manifested it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, Harbor Country Pride Fest. It starts tomorrow, the kickoff.
And that runs all week?
And it runs all week. So share that. How did that get conversated and you made it happen?
My good friend Abby Voss and I, it was during quarantine and COVID. We're like, before we were talking about wanting to, start something in this area. I know there's Chicago Pride, there's Kalamazoo and South Bend, but like in this little area, like in Southwest Michigan, we felt like we wanted to have some visibility and some love and acceptance, which there is a ton of, but just the visibility for the youth is the main thing, because there are some pockets where it's not as, accepted still, but there's some generations before us who laid a lot of groundwork, and we wouldn't have been able to even start this if it wasn't for them. So we thank them. But we just were talking about wanting to start something, and then COVID happened, and so waited a year, and then last year, 2021, we said, well, we can make something happen. And so we just started brainstorming and reaching out to people, and all of a sudden the snowball started going down the hill, and we had a whole week of events and raised $30,000 for LGBTQ charities in the area. So tomorrow kicks off the second annual, June 1st to the 6th, and it's
How
amazing.
It's
great. I still can't believe like what we started, because
what 2 people inspired, and
I mean $
30,000, boom,
it
genius. But exposure is education.
Exposure is education.
And you're exposing it. And we can't get everybody. But I always believe one person can change somebody.
Can we repurpose the term? We all hear about influencers, right? And what does that make you think of? Is like the consummate internet person,
right?
But that's the real influencer. You're the real influencer, Tim, and you, Travis. Like, you guys are actually influencing things to happen in the real world.
When I
Can
think
we just
you
take
do
that term back?
Yeah, I like that, and I like it because it's influencer with a purpose.
Yeah,
we were just sharing that it's not about our person. We don't talk about ourselves. We don't say what we did.
Right.
Any of that. It's unexcusable.
That's not what drew you to
influencers
doing it for others,
right?
For the better well-being.
Because usually, to your point, and we need to bring it back, is influence means I like, I'm going to tell you what I wear in my makeup, and I'm going to tell you what I do every day, or what I wear. You know what I'm saying? But you should really, that's worthy. To your point, I mean, this is a second annual. It's going to be successful again. So, what do you see though with you're out there to expose and educate today's youth to be them and who they choose to be and be proud of that? Do you think there's a connection? Do you think that there is a connection? I guess the way. Do you think they're going and they want that's important to them, or do you think because of today's screens they can see and do and be everything? So
I think they can see, do, and be everything, but they think that's only in those larger areas.
I like
in
that.
reality, it's everywhere. It's next door neighbors. It's down the street. I mean, it's everybody. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. And little.
Wow.
Yeah,
guys, I wish you could see the chills.
We'll get a photograph.
Yeah. The goosies, yeah.
Chills?
And it's just letting them know that you're not alone.
That's huge.
This is everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you were born to be who you are born to be.
Yep.
Shout out to Lady Gaga.
Yep.
Born this way. And, to be able to bring that to this little corner of Southwest Michigan is just, it's everything. And literally, like, we partnered pretty closely with the Out Center in Benton Harbor this year, and they do a lot of great work working with the schools, resources for kids who either are closeted and need like somebody to reach out to, or they don't feel safe within their families because they don't accept them. And we're throwing this prom event on Friday, June 3rd, and it's for it's a teen pride prom / graduation party because it's like graduation weekend. And Mary Jo Schnell, she's the director of the Out Center, and she runs it. She said, this event will literally save lives.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about chills.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, you can see my eyes are like filling up right now thinking about this.
I think we changed lives, period. I think we changed lives that we don't even know. Excuse me, at Blossom Time. I think anytime you connect and touch a child, they're accepted.
Yeah.
They just need to know it and hear it. Interesting too. You're very validating things. On my career, when I became a hairdresser, everyone said to me, why are you not leaving? Why aren't you going to a big city? Why are you not going to a big city? Why are you not in a big city?
Yeah, you've talked about that.
Yeah. And I didn't need to be in a big city.
Right.
My clients make me feel like I'm in a big city. My mind is strong and strong-willed. I don't need to be in a big city.
We've talked about, Tim, and we talked about how you took whatever it was that you thought was great about going to the big city and you just brought it to where you were. Mm-hmm. And why not do that, right? I mean, in this age...
We did with Pride, yeah.
Yeah, wherever you are, it really shouldn't matter as much with all how interconnected we are. That should be the good side of all the technology, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
But what you choose is a choice, and just be responsible and validating that. But who you are, just you don't have to do anything but be who you are.
Right.
You're your own platform. Like
and
I would
that can
say,
be hard enough for a lot of us to begin with.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you never have to say you're a Christian. You act as a Christian if that's what you choose to be. You don't just say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just do it, be it. And then people will go, oh my God, that's Tim. He's known for, he believes, this is Travis. You know what I'm saying? And we are our own platform. And then people go, oh, you know what? We made it here. I'm very successful in Harbor Country and Northwest Indiana. You're very successful. And it was just honing in, and it's hard to work on yourself.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to work on yourself. It's very easy to do nothing and work on somebody else.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's easy to criticize other people.
we always say that with the pageantry. It's, girls, boys.
Yeah.
You guys are the 1% up on that stage.
Right.
Connecting and community and confidence. These people don't, use selective hearing and don't choose to hear anything other than positive.
Right.
But one person changes one life, and it's just a domino. And you're doing greatness, and good for you at a very young age, making very strong, mature decisions. We're proud of you. People know you. You're a household name, like I said earlier. And my Tim Teeny is down. But because Travis has so much to say and people love him, we're going to do 2 sessions with him. So, everybody, get ready. Next week, it's Travis. Till then, keep that Tim Teeny full. And Travis, what do you got to say?
Don't forget to follow us and post your picture having your Tim Teeny to TimothyJeffrey_MC and use the hashtag TimTeenyTime.
Until next time. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Talks with Tim. Awesome. Tim Talks.